And they expect that the dollars that they turn over to the city of New Orleans are going to be spent judiciously and for a great purpose. And I think that is what the U.S. Attorney was trying to say today as he was talking about what a violation of the public trust he feels these actions are, and that's why they moved forward now with this prosecution instead of waiting until Mayor Cantrell is out of office. Now, we do want to hear from those city council members. If we want to pull up those statements that we've received from Helena Moreno, who's running for mayor. She's also one of the at-large city council members. If we could just pull those up real quick and see what she had to say, because we haven't heard from her yet. Quote, the mayor is entitled to a presumption of innocence and a vigorous defense. Councilmember Moreno's focus remains on a new way forward for New Orleans, restoring basic city services, creating opportunity, and putting people first will continue to be her priority. We also heard from City Council member Oliver Thomas, running for mayor as well, saying, quote, the announcement today reminds us of the need to let the justice system work in a fair, timely fashion and without regard to politics or preference. You know, we continue to hear from Oliver Thomas went on to say, I am praying for Mayor Cantrell, her family, and all New Orleanians, really, because this is something that is not only shocking for the average citizen, but I imagine it's incredibly difficult for Mayor Cantrell and her family. You know, there has been public debacle after public debacle after public scandal in this second administration, and so I imagine
it's all played out so publicly.
So publicly.
We've seen some of the mayor's personal life,
yes.
The untimely death of her husband, for example.
Yes.
In the middle of all of
this, yes.
Some of the allegations involving the alleged affair with Vappy occurred while they were married before his death.
Yes.
And they have a daughter together.
Yes.
So there are some significant, heavy personal weight all wrapped up in this and the timing of this indictment.
Yes.
In what would normally be for a mayor finishing up a second term.
Yes.
Kind of a victory lap or an opportunity to tout accomplishments over, a nearly 8-year tenure. That's gone.
Yes.
That's off the table.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there is not going to be a large sort of public display of the 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, it's replaced by what we had, kind of heard about, we're anticipating, and now she's got to deal with that with a defense attorney, court appearances, what kind of bond, obviously she probably will not be locked up in any form, but there may be some bond conditions.
Yes.
Who knows? Many defendants in federal court are restricted from not traveling outside of the Eastern District without permission.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the most frequent flyers of mayors we've had in a long time. So all of those questions loom in what would normally be in, a mayoral tenure, an opportunity to kind of tout accomplishments.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in this case, when we move through this criminal case that's going to unfold in court, there will be situations where we're seeing the mayor of New Orleans walking into federal court as a criminal defendant. And so, that is an image that makes it difficult to do things like strong arm the city council and do the politics and the business of the city that I think New Orleanians expect. So we'll have to wait and see what happens in this situation. Again, it may be a situation like DA Jason Williams. DA Jason Williams, went to trial on tax fraud charges. He was, of course, exonerated in that case. But he maintained his role as an elected official during that time. So it may be a situation where she does just deny these allegations, say this is politically motivated, and moves on. We'll have to wait and see. But
yeah, the cloud of a federal indictment, whether these ultimately lead to convictions,
right?
It's there. It's a big cloud.
Yes.
This is an 11-count indictment against the mayor, and that's a very, very serious. This is the full weight, power, and resources of the federal government, weighing on our mayor. And